Welcome back. This is the final part of our lecture on brain-based learning. So I'm going to be talking about the takeaways. As an instructor, what are the things that we can do as we know what brain-based learning is all about. Number one is to instigate or to design opportunities for students to be able to cooperate or collaborate with each other, putting them to work in groups to accomplish learning activities or tasks that you would like them to be able to do. This will develop not just the content but also the skills that you might want to have, and at the same time the underlying agenda is actually to develop their attitude about the content that they're working on. You can also use simulations and games in order to spice up the way that you are reaching out to the students. Talk to people who they may know better in terms of how you want to create the simulations. Talk to people from AI, for instance, or VR, and see what you can do in order to make the learning a bit more interesting. And obviously games, you can try to gamify maybe some of your learning activities so that students will feel that they can participate and they can see rewards. Even if the rewards are not tangible, even looking at leaderboards, students can actually get excited about what they're learning. There's also an option to do individualized instruction, although individualized instruction actually takes a lot of time. There is a concern about the mastery learning and also independent studying. This is normally done if your class is small and you are able to spend time with each and every one of the students. So it may not work in a big class, it may not work in a large class, but if your class is small, then individualized instruction actually is the best way to do it, because it's more personal, and that you're able to build on the students' personal abilities, and you can detect this right from the very beginning. Drill and practice is, I know it is very behaviorist and a lot of people look down on it. Actually, it does help. Because when you do drill and practice, it actually helps the brain to form the patterns that it needs, in order to understand things. So if you're looking at just accuracy and speed, the best way is still drill and practice. There's no point using constructivist scaffolding approach. If your point is just for them to memorize certain things. So it really very much depends on the type of content that you have. So before I end this lecture, I also want to talk about the why is it important for us to know the different types of learning, how our learners actually come into the learning environment, and how do we address this as an instructor. So again, as mentioned in the lectures on curriculum design, whatever that we're doing, it has to be incongruent with what we intend to do. As an instructor, you know what your learning outcomes are, you know what the contents are, and chunk the content. Always chunk the content. Identify which are the ones which is teachable in the content. Don't try to push too much in any one time, because when that happens, we only have a certain amount of cognitive load that we can deal with at any one time, and sometimes students being inexperienced, they may not be able to get to the level in which we expect them to be at. So you will see some of them feeling frustrated, for instance, not being able to deliver what you want them to deliver. So choose your strategies well. If you need to repeat, if you need to create some kind of a pattern, use drill and practice, that's fine. But in your assessment, do not use like higher order thinking questions, because that was the learning activity that you did was more of a memory based approach. Yeah, so you want to get them to remember something, that it has to be addressed in a way that it was taught. Yeah, it was taught. So cognitive processing of new information, yeah, is very much related to the way that we learn something in the previous times. So making that connection, sometimes students have difficulties in terms of connecting the dots, yeah, making the connection between new information and prior knowledge. So one of the easiest ways is that to get them to visualize it. How do you visualize it? You get them to mind map. Yeah, if they're not comfortable doing it with other people, start with themselves first. Yeah, start with individual students making their own mind map, and then you go around and perhaps go check and see how do they actually map all these things out. So it'll be interesting to see how those mind maps actually develop. Yeah, so bear in mind, sometimes they may have problems in terms of branching out their ideas in the mind map, but take time to explain to them, to see where they are at, and then what are the things that you need to do to help them make their mind map a bit more comprehensive, yeah, to the level in which you want them to achieve. So this unit has been about brain-based learning. Yeah, so brain-based learning, as you can see, it is stemming from the brain research, and obviously it has implications to the way that we teach. Yeah, we need to understand how the brain of today's children and students, are different, or are a bit more complex, yeah, from the way that when we were in school or when we were at the university. And we also need to be sensitive towards how the brain actually works. How do we keep memory? Yeah, what are the factors that we know of how the brain keeps memory, and the factors that actually help us in learning? Yeah, what can we do to maximize the learning? Looking at emotions, how do emotions affect learning? Yeah, how do emotions affect learning, and how can we control, or how can we mitigate, yeah, emotions in the classroom, in the way that we talk, in the way that we present things, in the way that we ask questions, in the way that we respond to students when they are asking questions, and try to think about what are the ways as to how we like what was mentioned earlier about the relaxed alertness, yeah, meaning that they don't feel fear in the session, but at the same time they are focused, yeah, in order to learn or to understand the content in which they need to master in any one time of the lesson. So I'm going to stop here now, and thank you very much for your time to listen, and I hope this has been useful. Yeah, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Thank you.